Heyo.
Hello.
Hello.
So, yeah, as Hannah said, guys, I'm Irish, but I have lived here for a long time. I speak Spanish, but I disgracefully, I don't speak Catalan yet. But fear not, amigos. I've come up with a brilliant system. What I do is when somebody speaks to me in Catalan, I simply respond in Spanish and pretend the whole Catalan part just didn't happen. Genius. I don't think they notice. For any of you guys who don't live here, it's a little bit like in Star Wars, the way that Han Solo communicates with Chewbacca. He can understand everything Chewbacca's saying to him. He just can't make those weird sounds. Speaking of Star Wars similes in Catalonia, does anybody here, all due respect, think that Puigdemont looks a tiny bit like an Ewok that shaves his face? For all you guys non-native speakers, or anybody under the age of 25 when Instagram was invented, which amounts to the same thing, a simile is what you usually are generating when you think you're generating a metaphor. And that could joke on exactly the amount of laughs that I thought it would. So my friends, guys, they got a rescue dog, and it was really sad. About 2 days after they got the dog got really, really sick and needed an operation. And it was really serious. The operation cost like €1,000. Yeah, and I was like, that's a bit awkward, isn't it? We just waited 48 hours, it would have been somebody else's problem. No, seriously, like, I was like, I know it's not a mobile phone we're talking about here, guys, but how much is a new dog? All joking aside, it was really serious, and it had a stomach problem, and it needed like this hypoallergenic medicine. Then, for the rest of its life, like in with its food every day, it's really, really expensive. So it was a rescue job, but it's a bit like, you know those really, really cheap printers you get? And then you have to spend like €900 a month on ink. It's kind of a false economy. No, I'm joking, obviously, guys. I'm an animal lover like the rest of you guys. I would never do anything to knowingly hurt an animal. Unless it was a cow. Or a pig. Or a sheep. Or a chicken. Or a lamb. Actually, the list is endless, really. I killed them all. But that's different, that's nutrition, that's natural. Human beings have been eating animals for 10,000 generations and not going to stop anytime soon. We need it for survival. Except, of course, when I take an otherwise perfectly nutritious breakfast and add bacon to it. In that case, eating meat is very, very little to do with survival. In fact, it's probably slowly killing me. In fact, when I think about it now, in that case, not only am I knowingly killing an animal, I'm doing so in a kind of a greedy, almost sexy way. Lustily drizzling maple syrup all over his charred corpse. Like a psychopath. And I'm an animal lover. What do people that aren't animal lovers do? How do you go, what do they do? Watch the animal be killed and masturbate? But, I mean, how do we even... Bacon. What are we trying to fool with bacon? Clearly bacon has nothing to do with the survival of the human race. At best, bacon is a meat-based garnish. You know, the only excuse for eating bacon is that it's delicious. Which is fine, that'd be like killing someone. You shoot someone in the street and going before a judge saying, I'm sorry, Your Honour, I had to kill him. He was too delicious. You know? I mean, every time I eat a piece of bacon, an animal basically has died for a flavour improvement. You know? That'd be like going into a restaurant, you know, and she's like, hi, can we give you some ketchup with that order, sir? Sure, why not? No problem, sir, we're just going to shoot your dog. You laugh, no, seriously, I mean, what do you think gravy is? Like, gravy is basically liquid animals. You know? And I'll readily admit, I'm as bad as the rest of you, I'll readily admit that I can't eat mashed potatoes without gravy because I find them too boring. So now I'm liquefying animals out of boredom. That's how bad it's gotten, guys. No, I have a weird relationship with food. I think it comes from. Have you ever heard of a genetic echo? I'm Irish, so basically in the end of the 18th century there was a great famine in Ireland, and the population of Ireland went, in a few years, it went from like almost 9 million to basically 5 million. So essentially 1 in every 2 people in the country either starved to death or like fled the country in a state of starvation. And although that in and of itself isn't hilarious, it's pretty funny, it's not hilarious. Its genetic echo does go some way to explain why 130 years later I still eat found food off my apartment floor like a wandering savage or a seagull. Something that is made even weirder when I have guests over and they catch me like bottom feeding in my own living room. You know, something that I'm so genetically predisposed to do apparently, I don't even know I'm doing it. And so when they turn around in surprise and like say, "Noel, what are you doing?" I have no answer other than to like point feebly at the floor and just say the word bread. By the way, any non-native English speakers here or anybody who was under the age of 25 when Instagram was invented, bottom feeding means the way that certain fish eat residues that fall to the floor of the ocean. It doesn't mean I was reverse feeding myself from my own bottom. That'd be weird. I can imagine a banana, I'd be like... So I'm going to finish now with a story, guys. I have a 2-year-old kid, and I often go out for walks around the neighbourhood with him. I live in the Gothic quarter. I put him up my shoulders, you know, his legs there, and I hold his legs. And I walk around the neighbourhood with him, and he's really inquisitive. He's 2 years old, so he wants to know. His favourite phrase is, "What are we doing, Daddy? What are we doing, Daddy? What are we all day long at this?" Which is great, but the problem is he's 2, so he doesn't know anything. Like, he literally knows no things. So no matter what our answer I give him to the question, "What are we doing, Daddy?" he just goes, "I don't know." He doesn't understand my answers, so it's a pointless conversation. So he was like, "What are we doing, Daddy?" "Well, we're going to go to the bread shop. Well, we're going to go to the bread shop to get some bread for breakfast. You remember the bread shop? We were there yesterday." "I don't know." Great, nice talking to you. So we went out for a walk into the neighbourhood, and I caught a thief stealing a purse out of a woman's bag. She didn't know she was walking ahead. He was behind her. He took the purse of her bag. And he was a little small guy. He was about 23, 24, a little gypsy guy, really small. So I just grabbed him. I said, "Hey, give me that purse back." And he did this kind of like thief, kind of guilt, like judo move. You know, he took my own naturally occurring first world kind of guilt and like used it back against me. You know, he was like, "Come on, it's none of your business. I need the money. Leave me alone. Leave me alone." What the? And for some reason, it worked, and I felt the need to lie to justify what I was doing. And he was like, "Oh, it's none of your business." And I said, "Well, she's a friend of mine. I know her." What? And then he said, "Well, if you know," I'm not going to do the Fiddler on the Roof accent for the thief anymore. Don't worry. He said, "If you know her, what's her name then?" So I said, "Maria." And then he said, "Oh, really?" And he took out her ID to check her name. And then I thought, "Oh no, he's got me now." It's like I'm the one who's done something wrong. I've only known for about 25 seconds. Anyway, in a fit of kind of panicked embarrassment, basically, before he could read the name on the ID, I just grabbed it. I said, "I don't have time for this. Give me Maria's wallet." You know? And I started walking down the street after, and he was kind of grumbling after me, going, "Yeah." And obviously, I didn't need to keep up the pretense anymore at this stage because I had the wallet. But still, like an idiot, I walked down the street going, "Maria, Maria, to cartera, Maria." And then, this being Barcelona, she turned around. Yes, her name was Maria. And then I was in the doubly kind of layered embarrassment on top of embarrassment situation, explaining to her how I knew her name. And I said, I guessed it. Which doesn't help you at all, because that just pulls the bigger question. Why did you guess it? Right, and then she goes, did you look in my wallet? Suddenly, I was a suspect! I was like, I have a fucking baby on my head! There's a baby, what kind of a thief goes around with a baby on his head and gives back the wallet? Anyway, she took the wallet back, it was all fine, and all this time, it was a confusing situation. My kid was on my shoulders, he really was. And I don't know what age, the youngest age that a human being can express sarcasm is. But I think we went for some sort of a record that day. Suddenly, the air above my head, a little voice just kind of went, what are we doing, Daddy? And this time I said, I don't know. I'm finishing up, I'm going to give you a little comedy tip. My friend said to me when I told him that story when I got home, he said, is it because you do stand-up comedy, all these weird stories always happen to you? How's that? And I said, no, comedy is about perspective. He said, if that had happened to you, you would have gone home and told an amazing story about a Spanish woman nearly lost her wallet. But because it happened to me, I went home and told a terrible story about how a white man almost lost his dignity. Thank you.